Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Try hitting rebroadcast. That still shows live. Let's see here. I'm on now again. I have no idea if this is going to be saved. I honestly have no idea if this is going to be saved or the first one's going to be saved, but if we have anything salvaged, I'll be thrilled. And thank you for YouTube for making this so easy and yet difficult. Let's hope part of this live broadcast records. A bit of it, some of it. I have no idea if it's going to be a short live broadcast or a long live broadcast recording, but we will have these separate videos guaranteed. Here we go. I'm going to run through these because I only have a short amount of time before I have to scoot out of here. I'm on a schedule today. So you have a blog. I'm guessing. It's easy to set up. In many cases, it's probably free for you to do. But now that you have the blog, how are you going to make it an amazing blog? I know many of you have emailed me, chris@pirillo.com, to ask me to give you a critique. It's something that's a bit overwhelming to do, so we're probably going to be wrapping blog critique services in with a Nomi subscription. You can stay tuned for more details on that. I'm going to go ahead and open up the article as linked in the description. Free resources and tools to improve your blog on lockergnome.com. I'm going to go ahead and +1 it, tweet it, and like it on Facebook, and you should do the same for every article on lockergnome.com, just to explain what we've put together for you. If you need a starting point, you have nowhere to go, you've got this domain now, this blog, what can you do? We've explained some good places where you can get images that you can use. You can't just go to the web, pick someone's images, and put them on your blog and you'll be fine. You won't accept. Well, I guess you could accept that. You can't expect that you would be fine if someone owns the rights to those images. But there are a handful of resources that you might use where you wouldn't have to worry so much about licensing, including a couple of Creative Commons licensed resources like public domain pictures, which we linked on the article, image after, or possibly even the Wikimedia Commons. So be careful about the images that you share on your blog. Get permission, otherwise you could get fined. I mean, yeah, people may issue a takedown notice and you could have to pay them if they own the rights to the images and they're collecting royalties on those images. Something to keep in mind as you're putting the blog together, as we've also outlined here, is keeping your eye on grammar and spelling, or punctuation usage, grammar and spelling, PUGs for short. And we've mentioned a couple of resources you might want to check out, including spellchecker.net, grammarcheck.me, and Grammarly. So if writing is not your strong suit, that's okay, because you can make a blog without images or without writing and just do videos. You can do that as well. You can embed, and I'm just telling you this right now for future reference, if you want to embed any video that we produce on YouTube to your blog, you're welcome to. Embed away. Don't you just take the embed code and embed it on your blog. If you want to link back to any article that we post on lockergnome.com, I am giving you full permission. It's how we pick our backlink of the day in the live TLDR episodes. Of course, there's more information in the article, including how to choose better titles, how to do research to know what best topics you might want to cover. What best topics? What best topics you'd want? See, when you write, there's something that you could use called a delete or backspace key. When you are doing a video live, you don't have the option to edit. So hopefully you understand me well enough to go and look at the article that we've crafted for you as a new blogger. Congratulations for having the blog. Hopefully we've given you a bit more of a start and can encourage you to continue to write about things. And if you need inspiration, like I said, embed one of our videos and write about something that I've talked about. Kind of easy to do. And then, of course, you can link back to the corresponding article on lockergnome.com. I'm really concerned that I don't know which one of those TLDR, this broadcast may just be either the first part before it stopped broadcasting or potentially the second part, or potentially neither one. I don't know if it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or what. We will find out together because I have no idea. But thank you for the 143 likes. You only need, what's 143 minus, wait, what's 400 minus 143? A hangout after our hot date. Yay. You can't go on the date though. First. Yes, Diana comes first always. Yay. Right. So let's go on with the next article. A few years back, I lost about 30 pounds, and I'm probably in a condition where I could stand to lose 10 at this point. But I took all of my weight loss tips and I blogged about them on chris.pirillo.com. 50 weight loss tips published there for free. You can Google for it, 50 weight loss tips, and hopefully that article would come up there. And if you like the article, feel free to share it. Well, we have found this news service, which is putting an odd twist on weight loss and really adding a gamification layer or game mechanics layer on top of the idea of you using the gym to lose weight. And when you join a gym, there's usually a membership associated. So take a look at the article. I'm going to go ahead and pop it open here. LockerGnome.com. Get paid to exercise with Gym-Pact. That's the name of it. I'm going to go ahead and +1 it, tweet it, and then like it on Facebook while I'm there. Hey, even I got to do this stuff. And hopefully you like the article well enough to share it too. So the idea of Gym-Pact is that you get a gym membership, then you go to Gym-Pact, and every day that you do not check into the gym, you lose money. And that money goes to people who are checking into the gym and have a Gym-Pact membership. So you could not sign up and decide not to get healthy, or to keep yourself going back to the gym knowing that you're going to lose money. That could keep you going. Instead of just losing weight as a benefit of going to the gym, losing money, and that fear could keep you motivated, depending on how you are motivated, intrinsically, extrinsically, or monetarily. I saw this and thought, well, that's different, interesting. I don't think I would ever sign up for it, but you might. And you can make money. So if you go to the gym after your gym membership and you sign up for this service, you get the money from the people who lose the money from not going to the gym. So it's interesting. As Mr. Skinny Bill says, that's an awesome idea. Kind of scares me, but it certainly is interesting if you are looking to get healthy. I've never signed up for a gym membership, probably never will. I try not to eat too much, although I was fed a steady diet of Japanese peanuts and caramels not long before TLDR started. So I'm a little hopped up on sugar right now. Okay, normally, I guess, I try to avoid sugar, and that usually keeps me okay. And, I mean, carbohydrates have generally been seen to be not as good for you as other building blocks of life like proteins and fats. Don't want to overcarb ourselves. A nice balance is the best way to go. I've outlined it for you on my 50 weight loss tips. It worked for me, and it really wasn't that difficult. Eat less. That's kind of the bottom line. Eat less. Don't not eat. Don't avoid certain things if you don't want to avoid those certain things. Eat less. And, of course, if you want to exercise, knock yourself out. Not physically, but enjoy the article. And if you need further inspiration for your weight loss, there may be other members in our community who are going through the same thing. I hope that our tips will help you along that path. Tips. Chris Pirillo, would you like a roast chicken? Sorry, I was reading a tweet there from Alex Daniel 9. That makes absolutely zero sense to me. Whole meal bread, not white. Yes, that's true. Chris, this is my first time seeing you live. Can you give me a shout out? Just call me Squid. Thank you, bit of mix-up. I like proper Red Label Coca-Cola too much. Diet Coke tastes like crap. That's not me saying that. Although I would agree. Don't want to get Coke mad at me. But I'm generally not a fan of artificial sweeteners or high fructose corn syrup. When I record a video here during a live broadcast of the Locker Room Daily Report on YouTube. It's sitting on a tripod. If I'm out and about, I may steady it with my hands as much as I possibly can, relying hopefully on some kind of optical image stabilization built into the camera itself. Or I might drag along a monopod, which is like a tripod with only one leg. It's monopod, not tripod. Keeps it steady. But you may have a camera that does not have great optical image stabilization, if any image stabilization at all. And so, we have worked with one of our sponsors in the past to really, let them know that, hey, we've got an audience that's recording video on the go. And these guys have created software for Windows right now. Maybe we can encourage them to port it to a Mac OS X or possibly Linux at some point that makes the ability to stabilize video seamless. Like just a push-click button done. Even though that was kind of a push-click button done. That didn't even make... It would be easier for you to stabilize the video with ProDAD software than it would be to repeat what I just tried to say. Anyway, they've also got software called Adorage effects, and that it can enhance any video project. And we're all looking for ways to make our videos better, right? If you've used YouTube's video editor, you know that it's very painful and sucky. It's free, and it's nice that YouTube has it there, but in the 2 times that I've used the YouTube video editor, if I could cry blood, the YouTube video editing software in its state today would make me do just that. Thank God we have better software available for the desktop to edit video. Now me, I'm the kind of guy who likes shooting live to tape. I don't like doing a lot of fancy video editing. Anything I do has to be simple. Push a button and it's done. And that's exactly what they've got here with this particular software. Take a look at the article that we've linked in the show notes. Now, if you have any, and by show notes I mean this video's description, which wasn't really edited, it was just clipped and uploaded to YouTube. Nothing fancy here, just me. And I realized isn't that special enough? Just me here. If you have any video editing tips to share, feel free. You may even have your favorite video editing software, and the reasons that you have a favorite video editing software. For me though, I got to keep it simple. I am not a fan of complex because I've got other things I want to do with my life, and being a video editor is not anywhere in my title. I don't want to be, and so I need software and solutions and tips and tricks that really work, especially with something as time-intensive as video production can be. So there's our suggestion to you. If you have any suggestions for us, you know what you can do. Comment. I may be yelled at for this, but what exactly is video stabilization? Have you ever reviewed or done anything on video stabilization? Says Mats417. We have. Video stabilization is essentially, optical image stabilization would be, you could have a shaky hand, yet the image that was being recorded would look like nothing was shaking. So it kind of crops the edges in a way, or, in software stabilization it would crop. But in optical image stabilization, it would essentially make it such that you could hold the camera and still be shaking, yet the image would come out smooth and clean, like you were on a tripod of sorts. So now, 5 changes that would make Windows better. Every OS sucks. It does. OS X sucks. Every version of Linux sucks, and Windows sucks. And not to mention BOS, that sucks. Every OS sucks, every one of them. So there are ways that these OSs could be made better. If you had one thing that you would like to see changed in Microsoft Windows, what would it be? Microsoft Windows only, okay? We're not hating on it. We like Windows as much as we like any other operating system at Locker Room, no doubt about that. Well, at least certain versions of Windows. If you had anything to change, what would it be? We've got an article with 5 changes that we believe would make Windows better. I'm going to go ahead and open that link. It's in the description. And while I'm visiting lockerroom.com there on the article, I'm going to +1 it tweet it, like it on Facebook. Hopefully you're doing the same. So one of the features that we would like to see built in to Windows, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on this one, expanded customization for the UI. Back when I was using Windows XP as my primary operating system, that was a long time ago. The Windows XP is probably older than half. I think that would potentially make Windows better because some people may not like the way Windows looks and feels. One thing that we would certainly like to see as well, baked in, and I think this would really benefit everybody. And this is in the article, and there are 5 total points, but this is the last one I'm going to make in the video, and you're free to read and make your own suggestions beyond. Make killing unnecessary tasks easy. Wouldn't it be nice to, instead of having to fire up the task manager and killing a process that you didn't know what does this process do? Oh, I got to reinstall Windows. I killed the wrong process. Or thinking to yourself, well, I know I'm not using this part of Windows. Why do I need to be running the Media Center software in the background? Why is this service running? They don't make it easy. You've got to do a lot of troubleshooting, and you kind of got to know what you're killing off in the background to know that you're not going to damage Windows at all. It would be nice to have, let's just say, in a wizard-esque experience, and not to say that you may be a fan of wizards. Lord knows they've done them well and they've done them poorly in the past. But just to kind of go through and audit, hey, you're not using a lot of this software. Do you want to be running these processes? Well, and Windows could say, we'll open them if you need them, but we could probably save you some memory by killing off these processes until you do need them. Or, hey, here's a random process that you installed some software that you haven't used in 7 months, and the process is running in the background. You probably don't need to be running it. Now, there are plenty of third-party utilities that can do either one of these suggestions that I make, but I'm not talking about third parties, okay, people? I'm talking about baked in as a part of the experience that everybody gets. Wouldn't it be nice to not have to download third-party software, whether it was free or paid, okay? Having it baked in. What would you bake into Windows to make it better, honestly? For the Win Much says built-in Microsoft Security Essentials. I do recommend that, although the reason they probably don't have that baked in is because there are a lot of malware or anti-malware company, well, a lot of both, companies out there that would be in the same space as Security Essentials. So by bundling that together, it could get them in some hot water, at least here in the United States, and I'm sure in other parts of the world as well. Hardware built to work with the software. OJ Mar, yeah, Windows does its best with what it has, and it's getting better with time, but something more tangible than that. That's a bit unwieldy. Give me something specific. I would bake server options within the home editions. That's probably not going to happen because Microsoft has to make money with licensing. And honestly, why would the home edition user want to use server options? Probably not going to happen, at least today. What about the Linux people who use Linux computers, says JBrianH95. Well, if you want to see that, we'll do it in another video. This one's about Windows, though. Productivity apps. I would love to see more productivity apps baked into Windows. And that was from Bob Life Gosen 1234. Leave your suggestions somewhere in the comments thread, or I've said ors, and on the article that we've linked for you in the description on lockergnome.com. I said or, but then I kind of said, no, wait, no, not or, because they may just do one and not the other. And that would suck. Speaking of not sucking, we're almost at 200 likes for this video, even though I don't think they want to hang out with me, because if they're going to hang out with me, they have to hit 400 likes. And the only way to hit 400 likes is they have to let everybody know that I'm streaming this live. And they share, and I'm grateful that they share, but I don't know if we need to get to more people. That's the problem. We need to get to more people. More people have to like, share, retweet, tweet the articles, the posts on Facebook, everything, because that's going to drive the attention and the awareness. To take screenshots, as Apple 99 Man. You can take screenshots on Windows. Even I know that. 5 signs you may be a tech addict. Ooh, this is a good one. These are great headlines. If you are not doing your homework or office work because you want to watch me live on YouTube, you may be an addict. If you would rather be playing some kind of video game on your phone instead of interacting with other people at a party, you may be an addict. Granted, I've done both those things. I've avoided work to do this. I mean, this is work. Don't get me wrong. This is actually a part of a Locker Gnome article that we've just published titled 5 Signs You Might Be a Tech Addict, written by Kelly Clay. And feel free to take a look at the link as I'm looking at it here on lockergnome.com. I'm going to go ahead and +1 it, tweet it, and like it on Facebook. Hopefully you'll do the same for every one of the articles. One of the things she suggests that may be a sign that you are a tech addict, and feel free if you have your own thoughts beyond the article we've written to throw it out there, and I'll get to your comments in a second, at least while I'm recording this live on YouTube for the longer Locker Gnome Daily Report episode, as we do every weekday at 3 p.m. Ding! You buy a brand new smartphone using a credit card. So if you buy it on credit and you don't actually have the money, that's bad. I would say that's bad for anybody. If you don't have the money to buy something, don't, or figure out a way to get the money. We've done articles about how you can make money from all your old tech gadgets so you can buy the new tech gadgets. That's how I buy all my new stuff. I sell old stuff to get new stuff. It's just kind of like this revolving door of geekery. But if you're spending money that you don't have, that's dangerous, man. That's borderline, it's not just borderline detrimental. It is. I mean, if you get behind on your payments for a gadget, you may want to rethink your strategy. Another suggestion, you routinely buy gadgets that you never use. I'm guilty of this. How frequently have you seen something, you saw the reviews, you're like, this would be amazing. I would love to have something like that. And then you get it and you use it once or twice and that's it. You want an example of something that I used once or twice and no longer use, but I still keep around because it's great decoration? I'm just going to get up here. You've seen my home office tour, right? I bought this. NASBTAG. And I don't know what I'm going to use it for. I guess the service it's matching. We're twins today. Wait, I'm cute or it's cute?
Yeah, we're cuties.
Okay, I'm just making sure, keeping her. Anyway, I bought that. I have no idea why I got it. I mean, I thought it was going to be fun, but then the service dropped. Now it's back up again. Maybe I'll try to get it at some point in the future. I've purchased so many things I don't need. I could probably sell them, I guess. I know I'm surrounded by clutter. We've talked about minimalism in another video, just I think this week, as a matter of fact. Maybe I'm addicted. Maybe that's something I do need to consider that a lot more frequently when I go to buy something. There's a sign. Here's another sign. You may be a tech addict. You buy group deals only because they're a great deal, not because you're actually going to use them. How frequently have you seen something and say, oh yeah, that'd be great, and you buy it, even though that's not something you would normally buy? It's like spending money to save money. That's dangerous. And just because it's easy to do doesn't mean that you should do it. So we've listed a couple other points in the aptly titled 5 signs that you may be a tech addict. And I'm sure you've got other perspectives. Let's see here. Too many ticks clocks, says Matt's 417. Yeah, I guess so. But that's, I use those. Those are fun. People ask about them. go.tagjag.com/tix. I want a PlayStation but can't afford it, says Evangelist Soldier. You're so ugly, you're almost cute, Chris. That's a compliment, says Mr. Easter Bunny. You guys posting some weird stuff today. Chris, are you addicted to buying Macs? Says Bob Life Gosen 1234. No, I'm not. I believe that or not. I know people would say, oh, you're crazy. Apple sends the stuff to you. No, they don't. They don't return my calls. Ever. Let's see here. We're addicts, my master, says Mr. Jim Hunt's USA. Upgrade rather than buying new tech, says the mighty Dobbs. And I'm trying to catch all of your comments as you're keying them in here during the live broadcast. I'm doing my best. What are some other signs that you're a tech addict? you may have suffered from them, or you may have seen other people suffer from them. Feel free to comment here and on the article on lockergnome.com. Ticks clocks don't show the same time. Yeah, I know, they're off today. 5 interesting alternatives. Boy, I'm just eluding syllables today. Or can I say eluding? Elision is the removal of. Can I say eluding? Eluding? YouTube goofs again. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I have no idea, but I just tweeted it apparently. I have no idea why. YouTube goofs again. Why did that just go out over my Twitter account? Hang on just a second. I'm like, as I'm doing this, I'm wondering what happened. Oh, it's the blog post for today on chris.pirillo.com. Check it out. I was like, huh? I'm watching the live video feed where I have tweets streaming, and I'm online everywhere. Okay, so back to this. Check it out, chris.pirillo.com. It's the show notes for today's live episode. It's weird how it's already published, and I'm in the middle of doing it. Sorry, focused, back on track. Chris, have you ever done a full house tour? I have, and you can donate to the cause. It's on YouTube. Just do a search, Chris Pirillo House Tour. Back to the next topic at hand, 5 interesting alternatives to a traditional bank account. Theoretically. Okay. I put myself off track, and then I still remember the day that I first set up a bank account, savings account. I opened it with $700. And I would say for maybe about 5 years or so, all I did was deposit. I didn't start withdrawing money until I was well into teenagery. Didn't really need to withdraw money. I just deposited, gifts from birthdays or holidays, any kind of odd jobs that I might have done around the neighborhood selling, old items, which wasn't really easy to do back then. We did not have the internet. It was that long ago. So we've crafted a post for all of you who have never had a bank account, don't want a bank account, but still want to do something with your money other than shoving it under the mattress. 5 interesting alternatives to traditional bank accounts. Take a look at the link, as I'm doing right now, on lockergnome.com. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down about halfway, and in the sidebar, I'm going to +1 the page, tweet it out, and also like it on Facebook. Hopefully you do the same for all the Locker Gnome articles. So one place that you might consider that's not a bank is a credit union. And if you had not considered a credit union, the primary difference, as we outline here, verbatim. For one, credit unions are owned by the customers and not by a for-profit companies. I'm reading it and I'm still messing it up. Hopefully you got that. Many credit unions offer the same range of services, from standard checking to savings accounts to short and long-term loans. What makes them different to the user is that they typically have some added benefits to the user. It's a little redundant in that sentence. We'll go back and edit it, I'm sure, at some point today, theoretically. So there's, some large differences. If you want to feel like you own a part of this institution wherein you're placing your money, a credit union may be a better way to go. I have banked at a credit union before, and I'm not currently at a credit union. I'm being fairly served, I believe, by other institutions. That may change at some point when I need to open up other investments. A cash management account is another alternative to a savings or a checking account. PayPal is also a possible alternative. PayPal's not a bank. You got to be careful. We've done a video on all the dangers of PayPal, and you should certainly be aware that it is not the end-all, be-all for where you want to put your money. In fact, I would argue, the money that you do put in PayPal should be money that you could live without. But it's there as a matter of convenience, since many people use PayPal as a transaction mechanism. I certainly use it as a PayPal. It's not even a word. A payment processing gateway when I have to take money or send money. Another thing you might consider, believe it or not, precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, just a few. And they may accrue in value. Of course, you never really know any way you go. It's an interesting world we live in, but don't think that a bank and a traditional checking or savings are the only options for you where you might put your money. And it looks like, I'm just reading the comments here from the live TLDR episode, the Locker Room Daily Report, as we stream it live on YouTube every weekday at 3. Yep, only money to buy minimal, says Felipe Postiga, and I bet that that's in reference, direct reference to the PayPal assertion I made there. Restless AMW says, what about the prepaid credit cards, Chris? Are they good for buying things online or storing money? I would say not for storing money, because you're not going to generate any amount of interest from them. But yes, prepaid credit card may limit your exposure of potentially being ripped off by one company or another, or having that number stolen. The damages would be minimal. That's certainly a smart way of going in terms of transactions that you might make, not just online. We think about security, and this is kind of apart from the article, but we talk about security and we worry about things that we do online, but it's far more dangerous to hand your credit card over to a stranger at a restaurant that they walk away with it than it is to do a transaction online. You could still get your credit card number stolen there in the real world. It's funny. People are ultimately I would say the biggest security hole in any particular process or any transaction. So just something to keep in mind. Take a look at the article if you have any other suggestions on where we might want to put our money other than in traditional bank accounts. That's the reason why we titled it what we did. Take a look. It's linked for you in the description. Share it if you like it. And now, the Stephen King novel for science fiction fans. Trying to think through this one. What is the best piece of science fiction you have ever read? I don't mean watched, television or movies. They don't count. Not even listen. Radio doesn't count. Read. The best piece I've ever read was actually a short work called A Logic Named Joe. And A Logic Named Joe pretty much predicted what the internet would be, decades before the internet was even possible. It's interesting to see how far we've come. We've written an article. It's really a kind of a review of one of Stephen King's novels, a recent one. And take a look. The link, of course, is for you in the description for the video. In fact, let me go ahead and pull it up there on lockerroom.com. I'll go ahead and +1 it, tweet it, and like it on Facebook so that other people, my friends, might want to take a look and potentially learn more about this particular new novel from Stephen King. And, from my understanding, again, from the review that we've crafted for you, it's about alternative timelines. What ifs. And I think out of any kind of work of fiction, whether it was something that I had read or something that I had watched or listened to, I always like the ones that do deal with time travel, because it is interesting to think about what life would be like if just one thing was different. And it could potentially be a small thing or a big thing that would have been different. It's one of the reasons why the idea of alternate universes and parallel universes is so intriguing, to think that one small change could mean all the difference in the world, if not the universe. So if you have any amount of geek or nerd in you, you have to love the idea that things could change with just one small adjustment of the timeline. And time travel may be possible. You could say that it's not possible, but there are people who say, no, we can prove now that these particles are moving faster than the speed of light, which could then open the door to the possibility of us being able to travel through time, potentially. Who knows? I'm not a scientist, not even close to it, but it's certainly intriguing to think about. To think about your own life and one thing that you would have changed that would have spelled all the difference. There are things in our lives that we know. if we would have done it differently, things would have turned out different. And that's one of the reasons why I try not to dwell on the past too much. Like, oh, if I did this, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm here today. I'm happy. I'm on a good path, and hopefully you are as well. But you thought Stephen King was, just only about thrillers and horror. Well, not necessarily. He's got a big streak of geek in him. I guess you can call him a horror geek. Horror geek. Hopefully no one heard that as horror geek. That would be a different kind of geek altogether. Although I suppose you can have either one of them. Really. Let's see here. How many gadgets? Oh, I don't know. Someone was asking a question about how many gadgets have you read about in books. Well, I suppose there are a lot of things that science fiction has predicted. And before we had these items in hand, we were only dreaming about them through the words of others. And I think that's one of the reasons that geeks should love the world of science fiction. And that's just me. It's not always just about technology, but the greater world of science and things that we don't quite understand. I don't know. There's still something to be said about the good old book, even though I really only find myself drawn to things of a more visual nature. I like books with pictures in them, but there were no pictures in this book, other than what was on the cover. Backlink of the day is from JKN Productions 1212.wordpress.com, and he ended up linking back to our article about extraterrestrial life, or the search for extraterrestrial life. If you want to be mentioned as our backlink of the day, all you have to do is link back to an article that we publish on lockergnome.com. It's really not that much of a challenge. Do you like Stephen Hawking? Sure. I'm ambivalent towards Stephen Hawking. I don't hate him. I don't know if I necessarily would go as far as to say I like him. George Millies predated the spaceship by 10 years, and I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name or if it was spelled correctly. I'm not familiar with that, but that certainly would be a possibility. Nostradamus predicted a lot. Nostradamus was full of BS. You could translate his quatrains a million different ways. Tom Clancy, NetForce. Who inspires you? You do. Ebooks now. Well, I already talked about ebooks a few times over the past couple of weeks. You can watch those videos if you want. Asimov's iRobot, Ender's Game, and sequels, says Crying King. I think that's how you say his name. What do you think about the rumors about Apple killing the Mac Pro? It's possible. Do you think we'll go to Mars soon? Asked Keko185. It's possible. Star Trek has come up with a lot of tech we have now, says Muppet CP2000. That is true. In fact, if you watch Star Trek, you always see Picard, well, at least the next generation. Picard's always walking around with an iPad, even though it wasn't an iPad back then. We can only dream of something like an iPad. That'd be fun. Let's see here. People will getting older every 10 years, meaning working longer, says the Mr. AMD. Not sure what that means, but yes, people are getting older every 10 years. I'm not exactly sure if that's a very astute observation or if you're going for something else there. Do you use your iPad as much as you thought you would? No, but I'm very happy to have it. Why isn't Maxim 3 a more popular browser in North America? It's actually great, fast, stable, and full of features, says Physics Power Tower Team. Their marketing sucks. I was a huge Maxton fan for a number of years, and they incorporated a bit of my feedback, but they didn't move fast enough. The world doesn't need it. It doesn't need Maxton. It could be easily or better served from Google Chrome at this point. They had their chance. Do you think tech has affected our spelling and handwriting? Oh my God. This is hilarious, dude. This is you guys have to see this. Okay, Falcon Punch. Okay, I'm just pointing this out, and I don't know if you're a native speaker of the language or writer of the language, but I thought this was really funny. It has, in a very negative way, but not for the reasons you would think. I'm not making fun of you at all. This is just a pet peeve of mine. Being a guy who graduated with a degree in English education, I have every want, need, and desire to tell you when something is incorrect. But I keep myself from saying things like that because I realize that not everybody speaks English as a native language. All right, so I think we may, if we do not have, oh, he did it for irony. Okay. Thank you, A Falcon Punch. Thank you. My heart almost stopped. Thank you. He did that for irony. A Falcon Punch. I'm with you right there. That was the worst. How does that go again? Or something like that? I'm watching you. In the circle of trust. Do you think college, as much as it seems to be on the increase with the internet and the ease of obtaining information, will see some kind of shift? If so, what? Moroas 100. You can search for my thoughts on that, going to Google or YouTube and typing in college locker gnome. Stone Story. I need to school you. He asks, what is best, Apple or Microsoft? I've already answered that question, dude. Who won the Sony Vaio laptop? We mentioned it in the Locker Gnome newsletter. You should have seen it. They stopped teaching spelling in my state because they said autocorrect would work just fine. Says Austin Mutchler. What state do you live in? That's an amazing story. Is that true? You're kidding. Wow. Millet is a French name. Thank you, GJ Frank 301. He's got accent marks over the E's. Although I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm horrible at French. Do you think there will be a point when technology will no longer be able to advance anymore? Says Mr. Dark City 101. No. Ow. Is Facebook going to end? I suppose inevitably all things will end. So we're at 254 likes, which isn't so bad. Quite a bit shy from the 400 likes they wanted to get the Google Plus Live Hangout. Sorry, guys. At some point, maybe we're going to be busy tomorrow. We got a couple of things to do, but maybe Sunday we should get around to building the Tantive 4 from from bullmarkettoys.com, the Star Wars ship. We have to build that. That's overdue. We wanted to do that on New Year's, and then we got really busy. Really crazy busy. Can I buy the Lumix camera? Asks Stratman4324. Sure, make an offer. What is the oddest thing your predictive text has come up with? Says Slouchy Cobra. I don't know offhand. It's come up with some wacky possibilities, though, no doubt. Hello from the UK. Hello, UK. Why Linux isn't used? What's wrong? What do you think it must improve? Says PK2 Alien. Well, it's got to get a little easier to use. That's a general statement. Far less geeky is going to make it take off. Geeky things generally won't work unless they're made to be not geeky. Chris, have you heard about the proposed blackout day for Google, Twitter, Yahoo, and Wikipedia in protest of SOPA? I have, but unless they shut down entirely, I think it's pointless. And they won't shut down entirely. Do you think you'll get arthritis from typing too much? I hope not. Chris, what about Windows 8? Says Richie's iDevice. What about it? I've already done videos. Search. Go to Google. I have to repeat this in like everything I say for the things that they're asking. Locker Gnome, Windows 8. La. Even Pirillo, Windows 8. La. Now, granted, it won't sing to you or anything like that unless you install like some kind of wacky extension. That would be neat, though. You know, you press a search term and it searches for something, and then as soon as it does, you just get like angels from heaven when you find it. I thought it would be interesting. I don't know. You have gone all dark. Well, God, I hope not. What do you think of the odds of AOL buying Yahoo? I talked about that in the Yahoo video the other day. Arizona, and yes, most schools stopped. They told teachers that it was a waste of time. By the way, my last name sounds like Muchler. Okay. Here's why it's not a waste of time. Because you spelled waste correctly, but the wrong version of waste. There's waste, like what's around your belly. That's the waste that you spelled. And waste as in refuse or trash. Two spellings sounds the same. It's a homophone. Oh, Arizona. You have failed us on so many levels. And with that, I think I got to close her out. I think I'm about done. I got to move on with life. Good questions, folks. I've answered a lot of them before, if not all of them before. If you have any further questions, feel free to posit them on lockergnome.net. You can drop me a line. I'm chris@pirillo.com. You're welcome to join the chat room at live.pirillo.com. Lockergnome.com is, of course, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, which we send out for free. My blog, chris.pirillo.com. Let's see here. I'm just checking. One last scan for good questions. No, not really any good questions on lockergnome.net. You have a chance to curb it. So thank you for tuning in for the live broadcast. I have no idea if any of this is going to be saved because of the issue that we had towards the beginning. Maybe the whole thing will be saved. Maybe part of it will be saved. I don't really know how it works on YouTube's end, but thank you for the likes, the shares, the tweets, the retweets, the thumbs ups, the plus ones, the whatever you got to do to get the word out about what it is that we're doing here every single day. We could not do this if it weren't for you, but we need you to participate with us. We need you to share the information that we are sharing with you. Otherwise, it's really worth nothing. And you, my friends, are worth everything to us, believe it or not. And hopefully you believe the same. I hope that you look forward to what we share with you. Despite it being a lot on a regular basis, it's hopefully mostly good stuff. We try not to share stuff that we think would be a complete waste of time. And hopefully you feel the same. So, without any other things to say, let me just close it by saying, we'll see you later.